Honorable Men Discord. Teen killed while celebrating his prom. Let's talk about it.
How you see yourself is how you perceived. I see a man strong, gifted, head strapping, never down on his knees, begging. Gotta make a way, even in my darkest hour. Say the odds against me was new. I would never cower.
As always, welcome back to another episode. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Tell a friend and tell a friend. I drop episodes daily at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So this situation took place in Michigan where a teen was flashing money. And unfortunately, later in the evening of that prom, he was fatally shot, along with, I believe, another teen as well who's in the hospital. But let's get to the videos I have queued up, and I'm going to speak about this further. So let's get to this first video.
Police have identified Saginaw's latest homicide victim as a teenager who just attended prom and was days away from graduating from high school. Dion L. Wiley III, 17, suffered a fatal gunshot wound during a parking lot party at the Quick Stop at 2034 South Washington Avenue about 12:15 a.m. on Friday, May 22nd, confirmed by Saginaw Police Deputy Chief Matthew Garrow. Another male teen suffered at least one gunshot and arrived in a personal vehicle at a local hospital where he was admitted in stable condition. Wiley had been a senior at Saginaw United High School and was set to graduate on Tuesday, May 26th. The school had its senior prom at the SVRC Marketplace, 203 South Washington Avenue, on Thursday evening, which Wiley had attended. Police have identified...
All right.
The Dion got that shit on him. Let me up. Oh, okay.
All right, so you see him flashing the money. I'm going to end with this, and then I'm going to speak about this. This is this gentleman's take on it.
Michigan. Y'all on the map. This young man right here, bro. Flexing gone wrong, man. Shit happened on Washington Avenue, bro. At a Quick Stop, bro. This young man was out there flexing his money for prom. Like you should be able to do, bro. So y'all track this man down at a damn liquor store in the parking lot, bro. Gunned him down. Ended up hitting another young man, bro. You young man, I'm sorry that took your life, man, but y'all can't do that no more. These people out here, man, ain't your friends, bro. And the wrong person probably seen you. Or it probably was somebody that knew you, bro. They seen that money, they ain't got nothing. So the next thing they gonna do is take yours, bro. And you wasn't ready for that. Your mind wasn't even on it. You flexing, trying to take your little girl out or whatever, but somebody else had something else on their mind, bro. And they took that little boy out, man, 17 years old. He's supposed to graduate today, bro. That shit is sad, bro. You can't do these types of games no more, bro. These people are out here to take you out. Pull that story if you think I'm playing. You know I'm not. Rest in peace, little dude. I'm out. That's messed up.
So the reason why I even put his video up, this guy speaking on this, is because what he said in the beginning was that that young man should have been able to flex the money like that. My question is at what point in time was that ever a good idea to flex money like that? And this is why I chose to do this episode, because who's to blame, right? You could say hip hop culture, the rappers, some rap artists who do things like this. But see, those rappers are doing it knowing that they have the means to have security, knowing that they have the means to be in areas where if they do this, individuals that are poor won't necessarily be able to pull up to them when they do things like that. And if they're doing it in their hoods or their respective hoods, they're doing it around people who will hold them down. They're not doing it in areas where they put themselves at risk. But when was this ever a good idea? to flex money? When was this ever a good idea? At no point in time as a New Yorker would I think that's a good idea. I'm an old head. I come from a generation where your graduation money was inside of a card wishing you well. And you don't take the graduation money out and show your friends or run around and say, oh, look how much I got for graduation. And if you said that, maybe you said it over the phone with your close friends, like, oh, I did good and I got this amount for graduation. But it's when was this ever a thing? And going back to my question that I asked, which is actually a rhetorical question because I already have an answer of my own, is who to blame is the parents, is the family, the guardians, who had to have known that he had this kind of type of money on him. And if they didn't, then that's the only time I would take the ownership away from them, because if he left the house with just his tuxedo on and his and that was it, he didn't have money on him like that, and they didn't know it, I can't blame them for that, because I mean, he was dressed for a prom. Now, some people are speaking on this incident as if it was a graduation. This was not a graduation, this was a prom. All right, which is why he has his prom date with him to his side. But this was never a good idea to show your money. It's never a good idea to show your money. This is why when Jay-Z at one point in time, he talked down on people. I think he had a line in one of his songs where he was talking down and putting money to your ear. And I know Boosie was one that took offense to it, because Boosie was known to do that. Jay-Z specifically took a shot at that, because what Jay-Z was trying to say is that's not even a real indication of wealth, so why are we doing it? You know, and I know Jay-Z, as an older statesman in the rap game, was trying to set a precedent, as he always does, by saying stuff like that. But it doesn't work, because there's always going to be a group of us that still want to pull out, you know, maybe it's a Southern thing. I don't know. Maybe it's a Midwest thing. I don't know what it is. It's not a New York thing, because it's not a good look in New York to do something like that. And I'm not saying New Yorkers haven't done it, but especially in New York, if you're doing stuff like that, just know you're going to be a target. And if you're fine with knowing you're going to be a target, then take whatever comes with it. But this is never a good look. I would never recommend this to my own personal kids. I would never recommend this to nieces and nephews, and so on and so forth. I would never recommend this. There's no way you're going to be showing money like that. And for what reason? For what reason? To make people think, what, you're rich? They know you're not rich. It's your prom. Let's not get carried away. It's your prom. All right? And if it's for a music video, depending on where you're shooting the music video, then I would say, okay, if you're doing it at a location when you're indoors, okay, and where exactly is that location? Is it in a good area or is it in a bad area? All these things matter. They said this was at some type of like, look at it. It says liquor store parking lot. You got to be kidding me. Of all areas, you know what? Liquor stores are generally in the worst of the worst neighborhoods. Let's not kid ourselves. Let's not kid ourselves. Let's not say liquor stores are in great suburban areas. They're not. All right. And where there's a liquor store, you're gonna find people that are usually addicted to liquor. Let's not act like we're not aware of these things. Most liquor stores are communities where the people in that community, there's a portion of those people that are addicted. They're alcoholics. They're addicted to liquor. All right. It's not people that just go get liquor for a special occasion, because how would those stores survive? How would those stores survive? And don't get me wrong, there are liquor stores in suburban areas. There are. How they survive, I don't know. I don't know how the liquor business is run, but we're talking about the inner city. Liquor stores in the inner city are usually in areas where there are consumers that are alcoholics. All right. But again, that's not the location you want to be stationed at when you've been showing money. Now, I don't know if he was showing money at that location and that's why this happened. I don't know the details. There's not enough details. At the time of this recording, I tried to look up the official news report. I did not see an official news report for this. But at the time of this recording, I only saw other channels speaking on this. I know Willie D's channel picked it up also. The former member of the Ghetto Boys, he picked it up. But regardless of the fact it's a sad situation, but I do believe it was avoidable a situation, which is why this needs to be discussed. Who takes accountability for this young man going out there like that? Again, if his family did not know he had that amount of money with him, then I don't blame the family. But if they knew he was leaving the house with that kind of money and had planned to show it off in public, I hold his family accountable for him first. He is accountable for his own actions. Yes, he does have to, well, not at this time, unfortunately, but he would have had to take accountability for his actions. But the family first for allowing him to go out like that. And I understand he's a young man, so maybe they weren't with it and he decided to take it anyway. Maybe he's holding money that's not even his. It could have been maybe one of his friends, because in the video you saw his friends were also doing the same thing. But it's not a good look. It's not a good look. And I challenge anyone who disagrees with that to let me know how you see this as a good thing. And don't tell me that it's it's a once in a lifetime experience. Let them do what they want to do. This is the outcome. There's poor people out there that don't care about celebrations and don't care about the fact that you're just a young kid that's about to graduate within a few days. They don't care about that. All they care about is what's in your hand and how they want to get it. That's it. And I don't know how many of these events have to happen for people to realize that. Don't come to me talking about a good time and a celebration. Because I've talked about this in a separate episode months ago when I first started this channel about these over-the-top celebrations for prom. No one say you can't suit up for a prom, throw in a tuxedo, have a nice car, but it's gotten over the top. All right, and if you want to be over the top as far as your transportation to the prom, I'm not with it. But if the families are spending that money, so be it. But the one thing that I'm not gonna stop talking about is this showing money nonsense. Showing money like this and being in public spaces showing money, you're putting a target on your back. You don't know who would set you up. It could be someone that is attending the prom that doesn't even like you, and it's like, calls their people and says, this kid's been flashing money. Let's, a good spot to catch him is so and so, or he's over there. It could be that simple. It doesn't even have to be random. He could have been set up because he was doing that in front of other people to show them, look, I'm coming through with all this money. You don't have what I have, and now you don't have life. Now you don't have life because the decision to show money like that. And the crazy thing about it, you show money like that, and I'm pretty sure your family doesn't have it like that. And even if they did have it like that, again, why was this a good idea to do that? The real wealthy, and this is why Jay-Z said what he said in that rhyme that I can't think of. Reason why Jay-Z made those lyrics is because the real wealthy are not showing money like this. Now, I'm not, one might say, well, we're not trying to be like the others. We're who we are. We're more flamboyant. We're more flashy. And where has that gotten us? If we want to make the argument about we're individuals, we're not trying to copy others, how is this version a wise version? Because the real wealthy are not flashing money. They're not showing their cards. They're barely showing their cars. They'll pop out when they're ready to pop out, but they're not doing the whole look at what I got. Look at my house that I live in. No. You'll find out through the necessary ways of finding out that they allow you to see, whether it be the Forbes list and what are the other form of medium that they use to keep track of high earners. But they're not going to be out there showing off their money like that. But again, we seem to think that this is cool. This is what we do as a community, which is not the case. There's only a small few that do this, but I advise against it. I advise against this because this would be the outcome. Maybe not all the time, but at some point in time, this is going to be the outcome. Unfortunately, this won't be the last situation like this. In a perfect world, I would say this would be the last situation, but we're not living in a perfect world. We're living in serious times where we have to be wiser with the decisions that we make. May he rest in peace, and may those of you that watch this episode learn from this. If you're of age and you have children nieces and nephews that next year will be celebrating a prom, keep this episode in mind and step in and give them some wise words and advice. Do your part at least. If they end up doing what they want to do, then that's all you could do. Do your part. But that's all I have on this episode. What's your thoughts on this? As always, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Tell a friend to tell a friend. I drop episodes daily at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And as always, stay honorable.